Hi, guys. Welcome to Expand to the Cloud Brokerage Podcast number 5. For those of you that have watched these before, you'll see that we're missing our co-host, Rummy Dhanoa, up in New York. He's not feeling well today. So it looks like you've just got myself and our special guest, Donal Gaddy. Donal, thanks for coming on today, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, David. Thank you for having me.
No worries, man. We're excited about you being on. Let's kind of tell the people about ourselves a little bit for the first people that have just watched this for the first time. My name is David Upchurch. I've been a realtor since 98, really the end of 97, 98. Been at RE/MAX, been at KW, have my own brokerage. I've got a pretty successful team. We'll do about 180 transaction sides this year for about 60 million. Brought my entire brokerage over to eXp in 2018, and it has really helped me grow as a brokerage. And Donald, most recently, has been in the business about almost 5 years. Is that right?
Yes, I've been in the business since August of 2014.
Awesome. You were at KW, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Kelly, Valentine area here in Charlotte. Spent my whole career there. I really love the company, but it was just time for a change to be able to grow throughout the country as well as worldwide. So,
yeah. Tell us, your volume is around 6 million. Is that correct? As a single agent?
Yes, as a single agent, I did 5.5 million last year. I already eclipsed 6 million this year. We have a couple of weeks left in December. I'd like to get that 7 million mark. We're working on some deals now. So
that's awesome. So tell the people, I've known you for a little while. You reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, what are you doing? Why did you take your brokerage over to eXp? I'm hearing a lot of stuff about eXp." And, I was a little surprised, I'll be honest with you, just because I know how passionate you were about KW and how much you were embedded in that culture. And I mean, I was in the same office as you, so I kind of knew, because it's a great office. It's a great office. It's a great company. What kind of triggered you to make that call and question me about eXp, and then ultimately what made you jump on board?
Well, just like you said, David, I was on ALC, our Agent Leadership Council at Keller Williams. Enjoyed Mega Camp, connecting with all the agents throughout the company. I was actually planning to go out on my own to build Gaddy International Real Estate Advisors as an independent brokerage. And then when I looked up and I saw that you had joined and partnered with eXp, I asked myself, okay, if David went on his own and then joined eXp, there has to be a reason. So you and I had a conversation, and you let me know that there are certain things that eXp has to offer. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. In regards to, if you want to have your own brokerage or want to build your own company, you can do that alongside eXp, and you're not consumed. So that's why I made the switch. I've always had a growth mindset. I've always wanted to be able to connect the world to real estate, and eXp afforded me the opportunity to do that.
Awesome. Yeah. So talk to the people about what excited you. Like what was it, right? Are all brokerages the same, right? Aren't they all the exact same? And why would you leave a company that you like for a new startup company, basically? What was it about eXp that you saw the vision?
So it's funny. If you could just really quickly go on a journey with me. I remember as a kid, we used to always, every Friday night, it was order pizza, go pick up your favorite game or movie from Blockbuster. And it was a brick and mortar store. It's cold now. So we would go out in the cold and we're really excited. So for me, I looked at it that way. Hey, I had great training here, enjoyed my time. I really loved Keller Williams. But it was time for me to grow and to move along with the industry. And so I looked at that as, well, now, if you own a game console or you own a streaming service, you understand the convenience and the way that the world is moving with technology. So you have your Netflix and your Amazon model. And for the longest, I was curious, how can I build my own brokerage and be able to test the world and really help those clients throughout the country while I'm still with Keller Williams? I tried that. I was looking at different things, and the cost just did not outweigh the benefits for me. Having to cap in every market, every market center that I would be affiliated with, the time frame when at the current moment, I have clients that are willing to do business with me in other states. As long as that I'm licensed there, that's the great thing about eXp. One brokerage for the whole company, so I can literally go to any state and have one cap.
Yeah.
So that's what really drew me to eXp, is that ability to do business in other states, as well as now we're worldwide. We're in a few other countries as well, and so here we are.
Yeah. So what about those agents that are either one, newer to the business, right? Or two, have been in the business for a couple of years and they realize that it's a little bit harder of a game than they probably thought. And they're struggling a little bit. How do you see that eXp is gonna help those guys?
So the agent that you're referring to, that would have been me. I started in retail when I graduated from college. I worked for an ad agency for a while before that. And that transition, the age of the realtors that are coming into the fold now is technology based. Even if you don't really want to deal with technology, you're going to have to based on the consumer as well. So a lot of our training is online. I can work from wherever. That was one benefit. But we still have access to the top agents in the country, not just in your local market. I can get on the call right now with someone that may be starting their business, let's just say Florida, for instance. If they had a question about my journey, we can go to the world. There's a private meeting room where we can have a private conversation, and I can just unload on them, hey, here are the things that I was able to do in my first couple of years in the business, keep it simple, right? The pounding the pavement, the door knocking, phone calls, whatever, knowing who you are, those types of things, that goes across the board with business, period. Once you figure out who you are and how to move, you're able to do that. And that's what eXp allows us to do.
Yeah. One of the things that it sounds like for you, for me as well, was you can always learn from somebody, right? Whether you sold one house, whether you sold 20 houses, whether you sold 100 houses, whether you sold 500 houses, whether you sold 1,000 houses last year. Mm-hmm. You're able to learn from somebody that has sold more than you. And if you're listening, you should be able to also learn from somebody that has sold less homes than you. I told a newer agent the other day, I said, listen, I can learn something from you. And they chuckled. And I said, don't chuckle, right? I mean, I should be able to teach you more. Let's hope I can teach you more than you can teach me. But that doesn't mean that you can't teach me something. So the collaboration for me was huge because, when you're in a franchise, other franchise owners don't really want to share, right? So you may be under one big, huge company umbrella, but those franchises are competing against each other. And so when you're doing training as a franchise owner, you have to find somebody within your own office to kind of train the agents that are in that office. And that's sometimes even tough because the trainer is typically training their own competition because they all live in the same geographic area.
But that's the thing, David. eXp in no form or fashion said that you cannot have the hands-on training experience. They just enhance the way that we do training. And so if you own a team or a brokerage, you're going to have agents that are going to come to you that, hey, I'm just getting into business. I don't feel comfortable doing X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? I literally can go into enterprise. I can go into the world. I can go into all of these back office resources and provide those to the agents that are coming on board. As we're looking to build with Gaddy International, that's one of the things that I had to look at. How do people learn? Everybody learns differently.
That's right.
So having a cookie cutter training program is just not the way of the future. Everyone can sit in the same class, but everybody's going to come out with something different. Yep. And so by this being virtual, I can build my team and build this company culture that I'm building throughout the country. You and I spoke about you have relatives, I want to say in Indiana or in the Midwest. Yep. And so there are folks that are there that may ask you, David, hey, David, I really want to get into real estate, or I've started my real estate career. I'm just kind of at a rock and a hard place. I'm at a stumbling block. Yep. They can come on board and join the team and grow that way. And the thing is ownership.
Yeah.
This allows us, everybody is not in the same pond.
That's right.
I can call my aunt down in Georgia, and I can do my process that I have that just happen to work for me is I get on the phone and make phone calls. And so I can do that from here and help support her all the way in Georgia.
Yeah.
And I can set her up for success that way. But she has that whole entire market where she is. And we can help build her a team around her in Georgia. And that's one of those things that eXp really enlightened me with, is that we can build wherever as long as you do work. So,
and for me, I mean, I'm pretty much out of production now. So I have a big team that pretty much, we're going to sell 180 homes this year. And I think I've sold maybe 3 or 4. So I'm in a position now, finally, after 20 some years, to where I can slow down a little bit and take a breath. And
I don't see that happening, David.
Take a breath in a different realm, right? I'm in the part of my career now where I'm more giving back, right? And I'm more teaching and helping grow other people's business. I mean, I look forward to helping you grow your business, right? So I have people on my team now in 5 different states. We just grabbed somebody from Connecticut the other day. We got another person in Connecticut joining. We've got New York. We've got North Carolina and South Carolina. We've got Indiana. So I personally have 5 people right now in different states, and I want to train those guys. I have the time to be able to individually mentor those guys. As well, do they have the opportunity to go online and go to these awesome training classes by other people that are similar to me? So, if I wanted to do an individual mentor training, I just jump online, maybe get 3 or 4 of my people. We go into a meeting. We have a meeting. One's in Connecticut, one is in New York, one is in, because real estate pretty much is the same everywhere, right? But I also will do a training to where it's open to everybody in eXp. So I may do a training where there's 400 people in this training class, or I may do it the other day. We did it when there was 9, right? It didn't matter. I still poured into those 9 people. And I didn't know those guys. I don't know who they are. I know what their avatar looks like. And we connected. Then I had them connect with me on Facebook, and I gave them my cell phone number. They texted me. I saved them on my phone. But I've never met these people before. But I feel a vested interest in helping these guys grow their business wherever they are, because I believe in this company, and because I'm a shareholder in the company, I want the company to do well. I mean, I tell people all the time, if you own stock in Apple, do you want Apple to do well? Of course you do.
It's funny you mentioned that, David. If you own stock in Apple, are you really going to go out and buy an Android? Most likely.
But that's the only way you can give back. That's the only way you can help Apple, at least I think, right, is by buying their products. I can actually help eXp grow by giving back my knowledge and my experiences to other agents that haven't been where I've been. And guess what? I also get that information from other agents that have been where I want to go. And they're trickling down that information to me, and then I'm trickling down my knowledge to them. It is in my experience, been a true collaboration with everybody that's part of eXp. It's, there's this mindset with some agents that aren't part of this organization that you're disconnected because they're not brick and mortar offices. In my opinion, it's almost the opposite. We're almost more connected now. And I don't know if it's because of the technology or if it's because we feel an ownership. And as the company grows, we financially grow for our own families. Because listen, you can get these NFL players and basketball players. Well, I do it for the love of the sport. No, you don't. You do it to make money. You happen to love your sport. I happen to love real estate. But guess what? If I don't get paid doing real estate, I'm not going to do real estate anymore. I gotta feed my family.
It's funny you mentioned that, though, David. There's a notion that we are not connected. Well, the truth of the matter is, you can sit in the same room with someone and still not be connected. So in conversations and being receptive, that's very important. The way that I learn may be different from the way that another agent that I'm bringing on is going to learn. The way that I do business may be different than the way that they would want to do business. Yeah. I am a pound the pavement type of guy that goes out to get the resources, the rainmaker. I bring it back home and everybody eats.
Yep.
Now, there may be someone that has a wonderful sphere of influence that really wants to tap into that really wants to do a different type of marketing. Well, we can from a brand standpoint with Gaddy International, we can partner on that, but I may want to connect them to somebody throughout the company. Hey, let's go talk to Jay in California who's done the exact same thing that you're looking to do, that has a vested interest in our company as Gaddy International succeeding in partnership with eXp, because the entire company of eXp is going to benefit.
That's right.
So that's something that I really had to wrap my head around. Yeah. And being open to change. That's the biggest thing. If you're stuck in, I don't want to say 1950, but if you're stuck in the past, you'll never be able to move forward.
Yeah.
So
talk about the technology. We know the training is fantastic. We know the collaboration is fantastic. How is eXp going to allow these agents that are struggling to find their way, get more business compared to where they're at now?
So one major difference that I noticed immediately is that instead of it being an agent doing the training on the technology, we have the representative from the companies that are actually partnered to do the training. I know that I'm speaking with someone directly from KV Core that knows that system in and out, from a basic level all the way up to the expert level with the additions and add-ons that they offer to be able to help us out. Just the other day, I was doing some marketing for a property for one of my clients, and I remembered everybody doesn't check their email as frequently as they check their text messages. So there's a text message option for us for that, to be able to reach your clients where they are. And that's the biggest thing we keep talking about is technology is supposed to make life easier.
Yeah.
And if I know that I can set up a marketing campaign to be able to get my client's property in front of the right agent, the right individual, the right buyer, through a text message, through email, they have a dialer already built into KV Core, which I love. I can be mobile and actually make my phone calls to follow up with clients and to just keep things, going in a flow. And that's one thing I wasn't able to do before. I was so scared to take a vacation. Whereas now everything is connected to where I can, as I'm growing the team, hey, person X, I need you to go in and log in and take care of X, Y, and Z. And it's already automated. It's a system. It's a process that we already have in place. That is just, it's amazing. So I'm really, really, that's probably my favorite piece of technology that eXp offers, the partnership with KV.
And one of the things that we're offering here in Charlotte is, as you know, we have, so eXp does not have a physical brick and mortar office, right? That's the reason that they're able to give so much more of the commission back to the agents that they earn. The reason they're able to provide stock options or stock rewards for doing things like selling houses and capping and things that, you're going to do on a daily basis anyway. The revenue share, which we haven't even really talked about. So they're able to provide all the technology. Like the KV Core the system is almost $600 a month if you want to go out and get it today, and if you're not part of eXp. Well, at eXp, it's provided to you.
I'm sorry, David. It's actually $1,000 a month based on. I remember I told you I was going to head out on my own, and I looked into these things. It's like $1,000 a month now. At one point in time, it was $600 just for the basic. Exactly.
Good to know. I didn't know that. I knew it was $1,000 setup fee.
Yes. Oh, there you go. $85 sounds a lot better than
yeah, absolutely right. So, but one of the things that we've done, and I think also kind of attracted you was I went out and got a physical office here in Charlotte because I have a team. Went out and got actually a second location for anybody that's part of eXp. That's in our organization can come in and utilize that office. Doesn't pay us anything. There's no desk fees. We're not charging them anything. They come in and make color copies for free. They can use the office anytime they want. We do live training in there as well. We do one-on-one training in there as well. We're in the process of hiring a couple of coaches that the agents can hire if they want to kind of help with production. So one of the things that we're going above and beyond what eXp is providing is other benefits and other value adds to just try to help the individual agent sell more houses, because that's what we do. We sell houses, right? And if nobody's selling houses, then nothing happens. So, we're gonna put everything into our agents I always tell the agents, you have to do the work. This is not an easy gig. right? I was just talking to a newer agent that just did his first transaction. And he's hopefully closing next week. And he's been blowing me up the last 3 or 4 days. And he said, and he texted me this morning, "This is stressful." And I texted back, "Welcome to real estate." Right? I mean, because, this is not an easy gig, right? But if there's things that we can do to try to make it a little bit easier, and train you on how to do business and how to get business, you still got to go out and do the work.
But it's funny. You said it's not easy, but it is quite simple.
Correct.
Growing up, I had a basketball coach who used to say to us, "KISS, keep it simple, stupid." And that reigns true today. So therefore, what you're mentioning right now, David, is you provided the resources.
Yeah.
Now there's a plan that they can put in place, and if they follow that plan, they will be successful. But everybody has to know who they are. And it sounds to me that this agent that closed his first deal, the way that he's learning is through experience by way of other people.
Yes.
He's connected. And so everyone is going to be different in that regard. So that's one thing that I loved about eXp. And, there are agents that I've known for years and have been connected, podcasts that I follow, and everybody joins eXp for a different reason, but everyone has to find out within themselves what is going to make them join. I've heard about eXp. Mega Camp is normally in August, right? With Keller Williams. Yes. So I heard about eXp maybe about 1.5 years or 2 years ago. Okay. But it wasn't until I found out where I wanted to go in building the company that I wanted to build that it made sense as a partnership. And that's the biggest thing. You join most franchises, but you partner with eXp. Just like you said, you're opening up a brick and mortar office. That's the goal for a lot of folks, is that they want to open up their own brand, their own office, something to leave down to their kids as legacy. That is one thing that eXp allows us to do. The autonomy to do business throughout the world and connect people through real estate. And that's really exciting.
I've said this many times, and I even said it today to an agent that I was talking to. I said, if you have your real estate license and you're either you've sold 0 homes or you've sold 5,000 homes in your career, you're a business owner. Now, you might not be a successful business owner if you've sold 0, but it doesn't matter. You're still a business owner, and you need to think of it as a business owner. This is a business for you. You are an independent contractor that hangs your license at a brokerage. One of my personal biggest pet peeves in this industry is brokerages that require the agents, the independent contractor agents that own their own business, to market the broker's name, phone number, and website. So if you are an agent and you're listening or watching this podcast and you visualize your sign, what does your yard sign look like? What do your directional signs look like? What does your business card look like? And if the first thing you notice on those 3 things is the brokerage, you're doing it all wrong, in my opinion.
Well, and the funny thing is, David, what I've learned, and this is just my path, is that whenever I'm calling on particular prospects, if you will, or potential individuals to do business with, half the time there are 100 people calling from the same brokerage or franchise. Yeah. They do business with people they like and trust.
Yes.
So your brand has to be trustworthy and has to be one that they recognize. So to that point, David, you do a lot of farming, and that's one thing that we discussed. It's sales and marketing. It's not just marketing. And a lot of times brokerages don't teach the actual sales part of it to actually get the result for the client.
That's right.
They teach us how to market the brokerage or to quote unquote market yourself, but they don't really teach us the sales side of it. And becoming the eXp, you realize that there are a lot of top producers that have mastered that art, and it really is an art. Yeah. So to that point, David, you hit the nail on the head. We have to really emphasize putting out there the brand of being trustworthy and results driven as an agent. And so just as you're doing with your team with Gaddy International, we're going to really push when you come on board. There's going to be a process. Just find out who you are. Find out who you know. Find out the things that you like to do. That's going to be the way you're going to get your business. If you're not a golfer, don't target golfers to do business with.
There's 100 ways. There's 100 ways to get business in this business, and I tell people to find 4 ways that they're comfortable with. Okay, so for instance, I know you're a prospector, right? You're on the phone, you're dialing, you're calling expireds, you're doing that work. I don't like that. For me, that's not one of my 4, right? It's not one of my 4. But guess what? We're both successful.
Absolutely.
Right. And there's a team that I know, I think they're out in Nashville, that's all they do is prospect all day, every day. They sell way more houses than I do. So does it work? Of course it works. But I choose not to do it that way because that's not what I want to do. I would rather do the 4 things that I like to how I like to market, as long as they're successful and I can track the results, right? Mm-hmm. And those are things too, where you're collaborating with agents that have been where you want to go. Find out what their mistakes were. I mean, the agent that I talked to this morning, there's almost no doubt in my mind that she said it too. I just saved her $900 a month by lunch, and I bought her lunch. She grabbed the check, and I'm like, give me the check, right? Just because she's doing certain things, she's not getting a result from it. And I'm trying to explain to her, don't do this, do this. Oh my God, I never thought of that. So she's transitioning. She's either 1, going to save $900 a month, okay? Or 2, she's going to take that $900 and put it somewhere else that will actually get her a return on an investment. But right now she's just flushing that money down the toilet, and has been for about 7 months, but she's locked into a contract.
Wow.
And I kind of, talked to her about how she can get out of that and why she shouldn't be paying that money. So it's just a matter of collaborating, because you know what? I made that same mistake.
Right.
Why do I know she's making a mistake? Because I made that mistake. Wow. And that's what that collaboration really does.
The state of the industry that we're in, David, quite frankly, you and I both know this, is the consumer thinks at times that they can do without the real estate agent.
Of course.
But the truth of the matter is, as a professional, they're not really only hiring us for one reason. We're there to fix the problem. We're here to get them to the next phase of their life, accomplish a goal. And to that point, once you figure out who you are and how you can approach a problem, that is your value proposition. Yeah. A part of what I do differently for my clients is the fact that I am a prospector. Yeah. Some clients like that.
That's right.
Some clients want the pretty brochures and all of those things, which we do. But guess what? It's all about matching. And that's the thing that, to bring it home to you, is that eXp just matched where I was wanting to go in terms of expanding, no pun intended to the podcast title, expanding to the cloud, right? It's to expand throughout, worldwide and really connect the world to real estate. And so that's the biggest thing that I'd want an agent to understand is do some soul searching. Go inside, figure out exactly what you want, not what your brokerage wants, not what everybody around you wants. Figure out what you want. And if you want to really step away from the day-to-day of the business, how do you do that? What is the best way to do that and set up retirement, which we can talk about, I guess, offline. Yeah. They have questions, right, David, in terms of the retirement plan that eXp does offer that most companies don't. So
that's right. Well, listen, man, we're excited to have you on board. Honored to have you on board, actually. Was really excited when you called me. Was even more excited when I saw that you saw a vision, believed in it, and jumped into the pool with us. So any last words to people that are listening to this?
What I'd say,
how can people get a hold of you?
Oh, perfect. So you can reach me at email address donald@gaddyinternational.com, or you can reach me by sending me an email at that address, or via phone, 704-968-5332. The best way is to email in the subject line, put your topic, and we can handle any questions from there.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, my friend, and we'll talk soon.
All right, take care.
Thanks, man.
Advised that the topics and contents discussed in this podcast are opinions intended as general information based on personal accounts and experiences by the host Rummy Dhanoa and his guests. We recommend that listeners seek professional advice or research before making a business decision. This podcast is produced separately and independently from eXp Realty and is not sponsored or funded by eXp Realty.